Saturday 4th of August 2012, and on the opening day of the new season, Celtic raised the flag on another successful title campaign. The champions were embarking on their 125th season, but amidst all the celebrations, Celtic Charity launched an initiative that harked back to the fundamental roots of the club. Celtic started in 1887 as the brainchild of an Irish marist brother, Walfrid, who wanted to form a football club to provide food for children and the unemployed. In that spirit, therefore, Celtic Charity decided to reach out to the world's poorest and most vulnerable people with the 125 4125 fundraising project. One of the key planks of this campaign was Celtic's Kenyan Connection 2013. The plan was for 26 volunteers to travel to the African country in January and spend 10 days working in local schools and orphanages, and the project was undertaken in partnership with the Kibera Celtic Foundation. It was the charity's second visit to Kenya, and the volunteers not only lent practical and emotional support, they also spread the word about Celtic's unique charitable roots and heritage. Kibera is a slum on the outskirts of Kenyan capital Nairobi. As home to over 1 million people in an area the size of only 1.5 square miles, it is one of the most densely populated places on earth. The residents live in mud shacks with corrugated iron roofs. Shacks are typically 10 feet by 10 feet, with an average occupancy of 5 people, and the poverty is staggering. Born out of the ashes of turmoil and violence, inspirational football team Kibera Celtic was established in 2008 as a self-help programme, linking sport with small business development, AIDS awareness and other community programmes promoting health and education. Its motto is, "Many tribes, one team," and as such they represent a beacon of hope for peace. The volunteers' marathon journey kicked off in Glasgow on Sunday 13th of January when they flew out to Nairobi. Greeting them at the Kenyan airport were John, Bernard and Rose of the Kibera Celtic Foundation, and participants got their first taste of the local slum conditions on the journey to their accommodation. However, the reality of life in Kibera was brought home to the party the following day when they visited their workplaces. For most it was an assault on the senses, with the poverty and deprivation a sight to behold, and the lack of waste disposal and sanitation an odious smell. The joy and excitement from the children, though, at the arrival of the volunteers formed an instant bond. A song and drama performance at each of the two schools was a treat, and undoubtedly the most traumatic experience of all was witnessing the sleeping conditions of the orphans. Thereafter, the party split into two groups, with each allocated to one of the schools. St Catherine's Children and Educational Centre was established in 2000 and started running actively 3 years later. Its 3 temporary corrugated iron structures caters for 200 boys and girls, includes an orphanage, and all the teachers are volunteers. Linda Care Academy is smaller and less developed than St Catherine's. It has around 100 pupils of a young age. Many are orphans and are accommodated on mattresses on the floor in the tiny one-room school, as well as the head teacher's own home. Again, all the teachers are volunteers. As well as providing education, each school offers a feeding programme which is of critical importance to the pupils' well-being, equating the sole content of their diet. For the Celtic Charity volunteers, day-to-day work ranged from teaching support to laying new floors, joinery work, construction of a children's swing, painting and supporting the building of a new toilet latrine. It wasn't all hard work and no play, however, for the party, and a few of the highlights of the trip were a safari and a visit to the Nairobi Giraffe Sanctuary, and then the chance to watch Kibera Celtic in action in a friendly match. 3 of the volunteers even made their Kibera Celtic debuts in a 1-0 victory. Kwanjenga School is a government-funded establishment with over 2,000 pupils and includes a Mary's Meals programme. Part of the group visited it in East Nairobi, and it was an emotional experience spending time with the wonderful children in the special needs class. In addition, one of the classes were taught to sing the praises of a local Celtic hero. The following day, the family of that hero, Victor Wanyama, invited the entire party to their home and provided a magnificent feast, including a special cake baked by Victor's mother, Mildred. All too soon, Celtic Charity's working visit to Kenya came to an end, and it was, for everybody, an incredibly emotional moment when goodbyes were exchanged. The initial goal for the charity was to raise £18,880 to mark Celtic's inception in 1888, with net proceeds to be split between Celtic Charity and Kibera Celtic Foundation. Yet early indications suggested around £35,000 had been raised, a phenomenal sum. Throughout the trip, each volunteer was a wonderful ambassador for both Celtic Charity and Kibera Celtic Foundation. They will never forget their African adventure and were blessed with an array of magical memories and friends for life. As they say in Swahili, Napenda Kenya. If you would like to make a donation, contact Jane Maguire on 0141 551 4262 or email janemaguire@celticfc.co.uk.